Let's get it poppin'.
All right, hold on.
Started in here.
All right, we should be going now. Let me check.
Let's get started.
Let's get it started in here. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're about to do y'all bars today.
Just waiting for the people to come in, kings and queens.
Hold on, I think we're good. Let me check.
Crosstown in the building.
Cross Tizzle.
Cross T.
How you doing, bro? Crosstown. What's up? What's up? Is my Yankee hat fading? I feel like my Yankee hat is getting dingier and dingier by the video.
Get closer to the cam. Not the NY, not the white part, not the logo.
Okay, cool. As long as the white isn't too dingy.
Yeah.
What's up, Kenya? How you doing, Queen? What's going on?
Let's see who. Kenya, welcome, Kenya. Brandon, welcome, Brandon. Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Crosstown is chilling. Crosstown, are you always chilling or working? Let us know.
Hey, Tsunami, how you doing? Whew, man, what is going on, Asmeret? How was your weekend? What's going on in this crypto world? Let's start off with how are you doing? How was your weekend? What's up? What's the latest with Asmeret?
You know, I'm always on demand. Always people blowing my inbox left, right, and center, and I haven't had a moment to myself really. But it's been interesting to say the least with the drama unfolding with Ethereum in particular, which I'll be touching upon. But yeah, some crazy things going down. You know what? The only dramatic things going on in my life is in the crypto space. Everything else is more stable and calm and boring. So
that's a good thing then. If all the drama is just for crypto,
just crypto,
in person. So at least there's good health, good spirits, family, good. That's what's most important. So that's.
And how about yours? How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Let me see. What I didn't do anything. Do I ever do anything on the weekends? Let me think.
You work? You take your work with you?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't do too much. I was in the forums. I was commenting and making a few little posts here and there. Mm-hmm. But nothing really too exciting. I need to do something so when we have these Monday meetings and Zooms, I can actually I went skydiving or something. I need to do something.
Really what you mean, like Will Smith's 50th birthday bungee jumping off an airplane or something? Man, it was all over Facebook.
See, I have a policy though, like don't do anything where you might just die. Like, so I don't know if bungee jumping and skydiving's for me, but I might do some variation of like an indoor skydiving, something like that. Keep it safe. I got a lot of people counting on me.
Well, you know what? You might do a J.A.R.V.i.Z where he was seen on a jet ski with a full helmet and safety vest on, and. It was it looked ridiculous because Beyonce didn't have any protection on, so yeah, it was crazy.
Beyonce's a soldier though. Beyonce is a soldier.
Yeah.
Let's dive into this crypto.
Let's go.
You know how I feel about the markets. I know how you feel about the markets, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. Sometimes I have to humble myself and kind of come over to your position. Sometimes you humble yourself and come over to my position. So for everybody that's watching, it's always a yin and a yang thing. It's never like she's stuck in one idea or I'm stuck in one idea. We really, respect and listen to each other. So sometimes I might see the market one way and she'll bring me some information. I'm like, you know what? I kind of have to pivot a little bit and vice versa. So we feed off each other that way. It works for us. So I know you got some news. I know you got some things happening over the last few days and over the weekend. So for the people that are just tuning in, she's going to break down the fundamental perspective, usually during the first half or more than the first half of our segment, and then I'll come behind her with the technical perspective. So we hope that through both lenses, you get some richness. So, you know, without further ado, please give Asmeret some likes, some shares, some hearts, whatever. And yeah, Asmeret, go ahead, take it from here. What do you? What's going on? What's the latest? What's happening?
Well. So let's start off with some breaking news that just broke through about an hour ago from the Winklevoss twins. So Gemini has launched a US dollar pegged cryptocurrency. And with this, if you remember, if you guys know the history with Gemini in the cryptocurrency world, they're major holders and proponents, supporters of Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And if you remember, they were rejected for ETF proposals that they submitted several times. So they announced the creation of a USD pegged Ethereum token that looks to be in competition with Tether, USDT. As the stable coin, they're hoping will be the most used by traders worldwide. So they're going to call it a rather catchy name, the Gemini dollar. The ticker, the symbol is GUSD. And basically, they're trying to make it a trusted and regulated digital representation of the US dollar that could be transmitted across the blockchain, traded on different crypto exchanges around the world. And because they stated that currently there isn't any that is regulated and that Tether cannot be trusted. As you know, there's been controversy surrounding that, and that it has connections with Bitfinex, and that it was manipulated, especially late last year, to make those gains in the market. So yeah, it's been interesting to this is only right now, by the way, just in the last hour that came through. There will be more development on this story, and so they said that there isn't anything out there that's trusted and regulated, and that it moves like a decentralized manner, just like, you know, normal the benefits that we have with cryptocurrencies. And so essentially what they want is the best of both worlds. They want, now this is controversial because I know how some people, everyone has opinions on how they feel about the US dollar, you know, the fiat system right now, not just the, you know, the US dollar as a reserve world reserve currency, but there's other main ones like euros, the Great British Pound, and that, you know, these fiats, the currencies, excuse me, are manipulated, and yeah, so this is going to be taken, I think, in two ways, and I can see how they want to be able to take advantage and really address the concerns as well of people that says, well, we need, how can we have the advantages of the US dollar and bring it into the crypto space, but still keep the advantages of cryptocurrencies? How can we have the best in both worlds? And they have been working alongside with other experts behind closed doors to come up with this, and they feel that this is the answer. And because, as you know, with Gemini in particular, it is regulated, it is regulation friendly, that this is going to be another step. It's great news for the space to be able to address some of the concerns that they have with the cryptos right now in the space. So, you know, they did say that they're trying to combine the credit worthiness and the price stability of the US dollar, and with blockchain technologies advantages, and this time have the oversight of the US regulators, and in particular governed by the New York State Department of Financial Services, the NYDFS. So they are, you know, they're not alone though. I mean, this is the first of its kind because it will be regulated, but There has been other coins trying to become future stable coins. I know that there's been some other projects as well that are looking to be backed by precious resources like gold, and also oil and real estate. There's all sorts out there, but the problem isn't proving the reserves and being transparent and accountable to that. And so I know with Venezuela, their national cryptocurrency, the petro, is backed by oil. So there is a development, there's a trend where countries are looking, and Iran, which I'll later report on, are issuing their own cryptocurrencies. And if they do back that with oil or with other resources that have, I can see how they can use that to evade sanctions, but also bring more value elsewhere. So this isn't new, pegged by US dollar or other fiats or other commodities. I think this will continue to, as they continue to explore and discover the technology, they are going to work on and try and find things that will allow them to still have a degree of regulation involved, but allow the part of the decentralized aspect of it, part of the transparency, part of the advantages, the fact that it's lower cost to transact worldwide. Those are one of the things that the developers and regulators and other stakeholders are actively working on this problem right now. So it's an interesting solution that they've proposed. We have to wait and see how this develops. This is breaking news, as I said, and how the market responds as we see the impact of it over the next 6, 12, 18 months as well. So, well, what will happen with Tether? Will they be forced to show their hand? Will they take a knock? It'll be interesting to see the dynamics of this, because some people still believe the US dollar, despite all of its issue, despite the fact that it's no longer backed by by gold since 1971, and that the US is heavily indebted, over, last time I checked, I think it was over $10 trillion, and that with the trade wars that they've currently have with China, and getting into arguments with their allies, and the Germany coming out of the US system as well, and Russia selling off US debts and stacking up on gold. It's interesting to see how this will play and how cryptocurrencies will, when we do see, apparently as well, with renowned economists, they are expecting a recession to come through as well. And so will cryptocurrencies benefit off that as they seek alternative ways to protect their capital, their fund? Will the trust in government continue to decline? Again, sorry, go ahead.
What do you think? What's your perspective?
I think it's a good development. I'm at two minds at the moment. I need more information in regards to that and dig a bit deeper and see how this will work out in reality, because this sounds like they are trying to come into this space and offer real value and have investors see them as a first port of call and help to come in and out of, as you know, like with the pairings in cryptocurrencies. Largely Bitcoin is popular because all the other altcoins, they have them with Ethereum as well, but Bitcoin is the most stable and it's seen as the reserve currency. So with the US being introduced, with this Gemini dollar, it will be interesting to see how the dynamics are, how it will play out in real life, and how speculators will use it, how other investors will be, their viewpoints of that will change how they feel, whether this, and the thing is, we don't know how much in terms of oversight of US regulators. We don't know how, what reach, what impact this will have, because the whole point of cryptocurrencies is for it to be decentralized and to some extent unregulated, but they are some way, shape or form trying to solve that problem. And again, if they do, obviously if they're saying it will be transparent as well, if there's real value there as well, if they prove that, then I think it will be good for the market.
So you don't think that these ETFs, ICE, New York Stock Exchange, that isn't centralizing cryptocurrency in any way? You feel like
yes, yeah, it is, because you know they're going to be bringing in some of their industry practices, and looking for ways for them to capitalize and have some degree of control.
Just for the people that are following this live, when crypto as says capitalize, what she really means is Wall Street spanking cryptocurrency. That's what she means. So I'm gonna give y'all the translation, and she's gonna give y'all the proper version. So what she means is Wall Street coming in and spanking and manipulating cryptocurrency. All right, Asmeret, go ahead.
You know, it's Monday morning, right? You have to be careful with what you say. It's different from the Friday night that we spoke. So just bear in mind.
It's Monday, so
you don't want to be putting certain images in people's head now, right? Like, you have to be careful.
I'm gonna be good. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So my question again, let me rephrase that, is that we have this institutional money coming in. We know that they bring bad practices with them. We talked about derivatives. We talked about hypothecation and rehypothecation on cryptocurrency, how Wall Street wants more Bitcoin. So essentially the Bitcoin that you do have is going to be worth less and a lot less as they relend and turn Bitcoin to a debt-based asset. Mm-hmm. So if these things happen, so for me, you know, I'm a contrarian, and I've been accused of being a pessimistic when it comes to cryptocurrency. So to me, it sounds like they won. It's like we came in, we pumped it up. CBOE came in, they took out longs, and then they shorted it 2-1. Like we actually have a ledger where they shorted it 2-1, and all the dumb money came in. It was like 6-1 long when the CBOE was 2-1 short. So for me, it's like, okay, well, they're winning. Like right as of right now, they're winning. So how do you respond to that, Crypto Azzy? Save us, Crypto Azzy, save us. We're panicking. My beard is on fire. Everything's on fire right now.
First of all, you should not be panicking. You do not want the market to manipulate your emotions. That's exactly what they want. Right. But it does seem to me that, of course, there's real cause for concern, because we are seeing a trend of big money, institutional money and capital and networks coming into the space. And of course, they're not necessarily coming in with innocent intentions. They're there to make money, number one. Number two, they want to be protected. That's why they're building all these custodial solutions and so on, whatnot. However, one thing, what we can fully, from the consensus I'm seeing, is that governments worldwide are not going to just allow the people to continue to use this space, use the technology at complete free will, have fully decentralized systems with no disadvantages or anything. They are going to try and do their very best to tackle issues like what they say is tax evasion, financing terrorism, and money laundering. Although this is big with current systems, but you know, we forget that if criminals, with any technology, with any development that comes through, if there's a more efficient way to carry out their illicit crimes, they're going to jump on board. However, they're still going to be using fiat. Don't fall into that narrative that the US dollar somehow or other currencies are now completely abandoned by drug dealers or criminals or whatever, and that they've all jumped into cryptos. Although I can understand the argument with privacy coins like Monero, where they can hide certain things, but I still feel like they're developing, from what I'm seeing anyway in the space, they are developing the artificial intelligence.
So let me ask you this, Asmeret. Like, I know you have some fundamental pieces that you want to cover, and I don't want to turn this a 2-hour thing like we did last time.
Yeah, I do.
But I want to ask you, just like from your honest perspective, like, what do you think? Like, what is like your deepest fear? And give me like your end to end. Like, what's your most optimistic perspective? What could happen? And give us like your most bearish, most pessimistic perspective, just so that we have a spectrum. Because my thing is, I don't care if someone's bullish on the market. I don't care if someone's bearish on the market. I don't care if someone's holding. I don't care if somebody's dollar cost averaging. Like, if that's what you do, that's what you do. What I do care about is just having a balanced perspective. And what I see in these communities and these forums in cryptocurrency particularly, there's never a balanced perspective. It's like everything is always good. It's like good. I mean, like, so like, could you please give us a balanced perspective and then take this a step further? Like, give us your actionable plan of what you will do if X happens, if Y happens. Like, give us that, because I think that people could really benefit from a professional, like how you see the market and what you plan on actually doing, granted certain things take place. So the floor is yours. Could you please educate us today?
Because your hair is on fire, did you say?
Fire. Fire.
Okay, well, okay, so as you guys know, I think from the very beginning, one of the reasons why I got into cryptocurrencies, I took that initial, I saw it's a brand new emerging technology, but more than that, I had a problem with the way things were done in the traditional space, in the matrix, you know, not just the corporate space, but the systems as it is right now. I have deep-seated issues with that, and I'm not alone in that. And so I've always kept an open mind. And I've always thought that we do have the answers. We really do. We've got the best and brightest of minds, but how do we get them together? How do we all individually and collectively worldwide within this day and age with technology, internet and communications, how do we bring all of our ideas and creativity and really put that together in a workable, like practical fashion that it can solve these chronic problems that is mostly human made? And I always have an optimistic view, even if the what do you call it, the odds seem bleak. I do feel like what that statement says, that saying, like I think Nelson Mandela said that it always seems impossible until it's done. So when we saw like the evolution of technology, like the fact we have, they gave credit to the Wright brothers for the first flight, for example. And at some stage, human beings thought there was absolutely no way that will ever
Come on, Asmeret. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Yeah, but my point I'm making anyway is that I came into this space knowing that there's risks, it's highly volatile, because I did my due diligence, I did my research, I surrounded myself with the people that had more success, more experience. And I never stayed fully married to any position. I was cautiously optimistic. But I'm also very keen to listen to all sides of the argument. And so from my perspective, I do feel the future of blockchain technology is incredibly bright. With cryptocurrencies in particular, it's a double-edged sword. Depending if you're coming into the space with a long-term view or short-term view, there's strategies you can employ.
Tell us what your perspective is. We know all the random scenarios. Tell us what you think. Like, just tell us what you think.
Okay, so I think, in my opinion, I think that the technology will continue to develop, get better, it will grow. In particular, even though with cryptocurrencies right now, it's going through a bear market, I see that there's a trend with the tokenization of our society. So what industry leaders currently are working on and seen efficiencies in this, real world case efficiencies. The tokenization of assets, real estate, art, even your car, anything that is a good or service can be tokenized. And this we will see a shift in society. And I feel like with cryptocurrencies in particular, especially with these ones that say they'll be back to commodities, and find the best of both worlds, because even though gold is highly trusted, it's not portable. And some of the issues with commodities is the fact that it's not, how are you able to use the value and the transaction?
May I interject? So, like, I'm asking you, like, we've heard these things before. Like, right now, some people aren't panicked at all because they haven't overinvested in cryptocurrency. Some people, and we've heard from these people intimately in great detail,
yeah,
they are very uncomfortable, to say the least, because they invested really heavily chasing after some of those gains of 2017,
yeah.
and those gains did not fulfill them. So we've heard these things as far as a blockchain technology development. We've heard these things of a tokenization society. We've heard these things. Now,
it's really. Go ahead.
The reality is that we have some institutional play involved, and they normally have bad intentions or selfish intentions.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking to you as a Black woman in a Black space that has the audience and the ears of Black people. What is your message to them? That's what I'm asking. Like, I'm everything you've told us up until this point is extremely valuable and it's extremely important. But I'm asking you as a Black woman in a Black space, as far as the price, as far as the development fundamentally, as far as who is getting involved and what their intentions may or may not be. I'm asking you to speak to your people directly. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Well, given the fact that we suffer from, especially with our community, well, not just African American community, but Africans worldwide in the diaspora, we face, incredible challenges. And by most metrics, we have so much to catch up just to be on an equal playing field, which I believe is very unlikely to happen. And so we have to be the ones to take a proactive approach. And in particular with technology, and with blockchain technology, I do feel that we shouldn't be left behind. This is my personal opinion. And this is why it's very personal, and also it depends on people's intentions coming to the space. Some of them are here to make a quick buck. Some of them really believe in technology. Some people are somewhere in between. They don't know what's going to happen. They're just going to wait and see and unfold. But this is why I state the importance of preparation and allocation. So regardless of the outcome, you're protected either which way. You're not putting a ridiculous amount of capital that will bankrupt you, or it means that you can't afford your rent. And especially in our community, I can understand that they have certain money allocated for their essential needs, and that they proportionally are affected by rising costs. In particular, they're the most vulnerable in society. And so, I just feel like because we don't have that, we lack the generational wealth, the inheritance, because of the systems that have been built to deny us that. We are in a position in this time here and now to really take a proactive approach and see what spaces, what platforms we have to be able to capitalize and leverage, and be able to build on top of that. Because if we literally if we do not participate in some way, shape or form, not even get educated about it, and not find a way to be able to capitalize in any changes that happen while the rest of the world does, I think it will literally, we will have to work 10 times more harder to be able to change our situations individually and collectively. So that's why I tend to come from an optimistic, because of my background as well. I tend to be more open-minded about technology, and I have a more aggressive risk strategy. I just because of how I've experienced life, I feel like this is now or never. You have to, but what's important is to have a measured approach, and learn from the experts, and make sure your risk is mitigated and managed correctly. That's the because I've lost money, I've made money, and I know how it feels to be on both sides of the story of the fence. And so for me, I think about long-term gains. I think about long-term appreciation, not just financial, but
with that being said, can I ask you a direct question? Are you personally buying Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency right now?
right at this moment, not at this moment, but
Okay,
I have been before. And here's why. I just feel like with some of the information that I'm hearing right now, I'm happy with where I am in terms of my positions, but there may come at a stage where I may have to look back and see, perhaps I should change the allocation of
okay.
my positions. But I know that one of my biggest fears, though, is that in this space, especially with our people, that if we come in purely for speculative speculation, and we don't see all aspects of this, then that's going to be a bit problematic
So
long
see,
term.
my thing is, again, for Black people, we're always holding the hope candle, the hope lantern, while other communities, they're holding the profit lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So the conflict that me and Asmeret have, like, she's amazing on the fundamental side, and she's made me a lot of money on certain projects in 2017. But from my perspective, it's more as like what institutional money is actually doing today, next week, next month, within the next 6 months. And then I look for those footprints as far as what they're actually doing. So like we have this conversation, and sometimes it gets really heated because like we were talking about what was it? We was talking about TrackCoin. So Asmeret was telling me how Walmart had some participation with their blockchain. I said, well, that's really interesting. TrackCoin is down like 90% from the time we first spoke about it. So as fascinating as that is, are we in the game for TrackCoin? Are we in the game for Walmart? Are we in the game for ourselves? So why can't we put ourselves first ever in anything? So I want to make this clear. Is when I speak from my perspective, it's not to dampen cryptocurrency. It's not to make people, not to disparage any projects. What I'm looking for is, are these projects improving our circumstances or are they not? It's a very simple thing. So like if you have, let's take TrackCoin, for example. If you have a business where supply chain management is important and you tap into their blockchain, whatever it is, then maybe cool, maybe that works for you. But for the average person, there's no use case for us. Like, and we keep talking about cryptocurrency, and I'm sure people exchange here and there, and you know, there's been some, but I think you have a report as far as like how many people actively like exchange cryptocurrency or something like that. I think we were speaking about that as some type of utility case, and it was like in the hundreds, not even in the thousands. It was abysmally less than what you would actually think as far as the use case. And maybe you could speak to that when I finish making my point. So I just don't understand the narrative that why we have to be the hope holders all the time. Like, why do we have to wait for this distant, uncertain future? Like, why can't we make money now like everyone else? Like, why do we always have to be the hope holders?
You can do both. You can do both, though.
I mean,
You can allocate your assets. You can allocate your portfolio in such a way that you can take advantage of the short-term movements, but hold for the long term and be prepared.
We've been bearish all year.
And be prepared to lose it if that's what it takes. This is why asset allocation.
Asmeret, listen. This is where we struggle because we've been bearish all year. We've been bearish all year. As soon as we got into the market, the CBOE shut it down. most people got into crypto. Most people that were into crypto came in towards the latter part of last year. There was few of us that got in a little bit earlier, but most people got in towards the latter part, 10, 15K plus. And then CBOE shut it down and took all that money right back. And I talk to people every single day that has 50, 60, 70, 80% loss in their portfolios. And these people are really frustrated. Even if it was money they could technically afford to lose, they're really, really frustrated. Like, I talk to these people all the time. They're really unhappy people. So like, and
emotions.
I understand that, but Asmeret, it's like I feel like that sometimes you're so biased towards cryptocurrency is that you put that before the interests of the people that you care most about. And that's the only thing that we have an issue on. It's like, when do you come out and say, you know what, at this point, I'm willing to do this. At this point, I'm willing to do that. But if you're just always just holding, Asmeret, listen.
I'm saying it's from everyone. This isn't a one size fits all approach. Everyone has different intentions for coming into the space, and everyone has a degree of understanding, knowledge, and insight into the space. Something I may be 100% wrong. I may be 100% right, or somewhere in the middle. No one knows. This is why people have to.
I asked a direct question. I said, "Are you buying cryptocurrency right now?" You said no.
Right now, not no.
Okay,
right
so
now.
This is my point. Is that a lot of times people will watch us and we spew so much positive stuff. They rush in with their wallets and actually buy. So while we're talking positive, they're actually spending their hard-earned money and losing value. So,
but I've always maintained that my position is I'm bullish long term, short term bearish. I've stated that in some of my comments.
But people don't understand that. People, and this is the thing, is that let's look at historical performances. If Bitcoin goes to 3K, which I think 4K, 3K is a realistic target, you have the wherewithal to ride that through. You know, you have a lot of support, fundamental, technical side. But historical patterns have showed us that even if we tell someone that bought Bitcoin at 6K and it goes to 3K, even if we tell them don't sell your Bitcoin,
statistically, some of them sell it off. Yeah,
are still going to sell. So like, all I'm asking is that we have to be really cognizant about the messages that we perpetuate, because while you're holding, because you have me, you have other people saying, "Hey, Asmeret, this is going to happen, this is going to happen." And I know you're not buying crypto right now. We have I know you're not buying it right now. The average person will come and say, you know what? I believe in crypto Azzy, so I'm going to buy some Bitcoin right now because my long-term perspective is this. And then as soon as it hits 3K, even worse, 1K, they're going to say, this hurts too bad. I'm just go ahead and sell it. So historically, that holders that claim to be holders, they really sell. They sell behind closed doors and they hodl in public. And the numbers don't lie, you know. So the thing is, all I'm saying is like, I just want you to offer both perspectives so people could be really clear about your position. Because people get confused. Like, if crypto Azzy isn't buying cryptocurrency to hold, are you buying cryptocurrency to hold right now at these prices?
At this, well, it's again, for me, it's not to do with this price, because I already told you I came into the space and I decided I'm going to make sure I do the right thing and allocate.
I'm asking you a direct question. Are you buying cryptocurrency to hold at these prices? If you are, then I stand corrected and I apologize.
Right now, I'm not buying any cryptos because it's bearish. It doesn't make sense to me to do it right now.
However, that's just the antithesis of your entire argument. Your entire argument was that you're buying into the transformative technology, and now you're saying it's bearish.
No, wait, because I take your analysis into account as well as the fundamental. And I do have some that I'm holding long term, but right now to purchase Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, I'm not right now, because I told you before that there's a higher probability that the prices are going to continue to be depressed. And then at some point it will reverse, and we can't catch tops and bonds.
And that's all I'm asking.
I've always said that I have a long-term view with this space. and that I'm.
But Asmeret, you do, and that's great. But I want us to speak to those people that are going to sell when Bitcoin hits 3K. That's my only concern is that like I could buy Bitcoin right now, right? I can spend whatever, buy some Bitcoin. And I'm not going to stress about it if I have a technical perspective that's going to come back, which at the current time I don't. Unless I want to study like hyperwaves or I want to study like market psychology in its entirety and assume that applies to crypto, then yeah, I can get in. But I don't have any technical data to support as of right now that Bitcoin is going to ever see a higher price. I hope to have it at some point, but I don't right now. So if I was to get on camera and say, hey, I think Bitcoin's going to do this and this and this, like I have a hope but we need to speak to those people that may or most likely panic sell. So all I'm saying is like this: if we have a bullish long-term perspective, because I'm actually leaning towards you as far as the Bitcoin becoming a unit of account, which is a real possibility, going through the psychological phases, the blockchain technology. I think a lot of alts have to go away. It's going to be Bitcoin versus Wall Street. And I don't really like betting against Wall Street, so I really have some concerns there. But if anyone can beat Wall Street, it's Bitcoin. So the thing is like I do share some of those optimistic views, but we have real people that come out every single day, hitting your inbox, hitting my inbox, saying, "Hey, I'm down 90% here, I'm down 80% here." And a lot of times those people take our videos and they misconstrue them. They're like, "Oh well, she's long-term bullish." Aking's long-term bullish, but then they get a 50% cut, an 80% cut, and then they sell. So why isn't our messages, or at least should our message be, I'm asking that, hey, we see the space is going here, which is highly speculative, but we are positioning ourselves for that decline. Let me ask you this, Crypto Azzy. If we get a 24-hour close below 6K on Bitcoin, would you be selling your cryptocurrency, or would you be buying more cryptocurrency?
I personally, I'm going to have to see how when the time comes, but I don't really lean on selling at that point. But that's my personal decision. There'll be some people that cannot take the pain and will have to liquidate their positions. Again, this is why I said one size fits all doesn't work in this space, and people will come in saying and claiming that they're going to be.
Why are you doing this? Like, we spoke about this. Like, if Bitcoin closed 24 hours below 6K, you're telling me you're buying Bitcoin or holding Bitcoin? Like, just tell us honestly, like, what do you think? Like, honestly, and maybe I misunderstood you before. Like, what do you think?
Well, I don't. Again, I'd have to come to that because that's something that I'm not going to make a decision right now. I just have to see if that occurs, then I'm going to have to see what happens. But I'm long-term bullish, and some of my portfolio will be long-term, and I intend to hold that for at least 5 years. But you never know with this space, anything can happen. And this is why we say you have to do your own.
Asmeret, you're telling me that this was, because I feel like we spoke about this. So I clearly had a misunderstanding. So I apologize. Because I thought our conversation was that we got a 24-hour close on Bitcoin, we was going to short the market and you wasn't going to own any crypto. But I have a misunderstanding because see, the thing is, I just want us, if we're both young, we're both Black people, and we both understand the unique needs and sentiments of our people. Me from the US perspective, you from international perspective. And we also understand the numbers behind the doors. There's going to be people that actually hold. Those people are the minority. And then there's going to be people that say they're going to hold. And then when price gets lower and lower, they're going to panic and they're going to sell into depression and fear. So I have a hard time in good conscience pushing this narrative that we're going to do something if we're honestly not going to do it. That's first and foremost. And then secondly, luring people into a perspective or an ideology in which I know in good conscience, most of them are going to sell towards the bottom in panic and fear. So I much rather, even if it means it brings me dislike, because a lot of people don't like what I have to say because it's an uncomfortable truth. And I accept that. but I want to be on the right side of history. I don't want to be on the side of history to where when people look back, they say, this was the guy telling us hold, hold, hold. And then we went to 3K or 1K and I was forced to make a decision. I want to be the guy that says, listen, this is what I see. That's a very likely possibility that could occur over the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And this is how I plan on playing it. And the people that I know, like yourself, they're not holding crypto. They're exiting crypto strategically and re-entering strategically, the people that I know. But if you're telling me differently, then I apologize. I had a different understanding. And we just have to, agree to disagree, because your position is your position, my position is my position. And I guess I just had a misunderstanding and I respect it.
Yeah, so again, I feel like I'm repeating myself a million times already, but a lot of people come into this space with different intentions, and you shouldn't necessarily take our advice as financial advice just because we're going to be looking at certain price points and seeing whether we should liquidate our position, hold our position. And
that's what people do, though. I tell people not financial advice all the time, and people still I have people that hit me up out of random air and say, hey, I took your trade. Like, what trade? I didn't even issue a trade. I saw a chart you posted and I took it and I made some money or I lost some money. Like, I don't even know you. So people follow us. So I just feel like we have a responsibility to let people know what we're actually doing versus what we versus what our thoughts and hopes are. Because I have a lot of hopes for the market, but I have actions. So that's all I'm saying. So if your actions are consistent with your hopes and you know that and you're conscious that's the truth, then we're cool. But if you know and you're conscious your actions aren't consistent with your hopes, then I think you should express that to the people and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I think. This is what I hope for. This is what I'm willing to risk. This is what I'm actually doing. And I think that will always resonate better. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just a bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. That's fine. But I see intelligent people like yourself, intelligent people that we talk to, that's in our circles, that's moving very differently, and then they'll push a different narrative out. And it's the little person that gets burnt. It's the person that reads all the CCN news. It's the person that reads all this bullish news, and their portfolio continues to slide. But I'm not going to beat it because this isn't helping me. Like, the more I speak on this, the more people dislike me. So it doesn't help me trying to kick a different perspective or a truth as I see it, because it's not popular. Like, nobody wants to hear my bearish perspectives or my doomsday perspective. Nobody wants to hear that, and it doesn't go over well, especially for a person that's been holding since the top of this year. So I don't even see the merit in trying to advocate for this anymore, because it doesn't help. Like, I might free one person of this mental slavery and 99 people throw darts at me. So it doesn't help. I just want you to, make sure that if you're saying these things, that your actions are consistent with it, because I thought your actions were different. If your actions are consistent with the things that you're saying, then I apologize. I apologize to you, Crypto Azzy. I apologize. Straight up. I had a different understanding, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I just looked at the time. It's we only have 10 minutes left, and I think we should start with the charts. I did have more I wanted to talk about. Wanted to mention in regards to Vitalik Buterin saying that this might be an end to explosive growth. So we did see with Ethereum, it dropped about 30%, and it shaved something like $50 billion off the crypto market. And so that the negative impact of rampant speculations and also ICOs liquidating their ethers due to panic selling has had a detrimental effect on the market, on Ethereum's price. So yeah, but he is still bullish on the space, and he does feel that we need to stress the economic advantages of the blockchain space and the efficiencies of cryptocurrencies. but the opportunity for 1,000 times growth in the space that, you know, we saw from last year, that is coming to an end, is what he said. And so we saw if you drop.
Tell us what you said. We listen and respect you. Like, tell us what you really, honestly, in your core feel or think. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I can tell in your face you're not liking this. But I mean, we all listen to you and respect you. Like, are you afraid to take a position or tell people what you really think? Like, or just blame it on me. People will blame me any day. People are gonna love you no matter what you do. You could crap on everybody's head and they'll still love you.
I've already said this to you. I've already said this to many people. I'm already long-term bullish in this space, and regardless of the FUD and several, and I do take the concern seriously. I do believe that big money coming into this space is a double-edged sword. And there's no absolutes in this space, but what I won't move on is that what I do stay consistent on is the fact that you have to come into this space and prepare for anything and make sure that you're completely covered, and you have
I just think that's not genuine, because your dollars don't reflect your views. That's the only thing. Like, I know you. Like, we do this together. Like, your dollars don't reflect your views. But if you want to perpetuate that, that's your choice. That's your choice, but you have to live with that. That's fine. I'm going to speak my perspective, what I feel like is true. I give y'all the raw, the ugly. I'm not some trader that makes millions of dollars every single trade. I make money, I lose money, I live to see it another day. So if that's what you're going to do, then that's what you're going to do. I categorically disagree with you. Like, I cannot disagree with you more. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed that you just stick to this, because we have so many honest, raw conversations. Why can't you give that to the audience? Like, just take the mask off and just get raw and real and tell people what you really want to do and how you use your money. And not financial advice. Like, tell people. Just tell them. Or not. That's fine. I'll pull up a chart. Can I just pull up a chart?
Yeah, this is going to go into a 2-hour argument. So if you can.
I don't want to argue with you, Asmeret. It's cool. Let me just pull up a chart. Let me change the tone, all right? Oh, man. All right, guys, so y'all know what it is. Let's do charts. Not financial advice, but listen, though. Not financial advice, but listen, though. Let's see these charts. I'm going to show you guys from the past days how the price has moved. I'm going to show you guys for the future days where I think price is going to move. Bitcoin is the mother whale of the ocean. As Bitcoin goes, they go. So I'm going to give you guys just a big, broad perspective of what I think could most likely happen and what levels to watch for. Not giving you guys trades, not saying to trade, not saying not to trade, not saying to hold, not saying to buy in, I'm not saying any of these things. Just giving me a broad perspective what could possibly happen, the levels that I'm watching for, and if certain things occur where I'm gonna make some money, or if certain things occur where I'm gonna lose some money. So I do have like little outlets, and I've been sharing little things, and some people that have been following me of late has made a couple bucks, which is cool. Not financial advice. Do not take this. I'm not a financial advisor. Let's just take a look at the chart. Use your own due diligence, do your own research, and let's see if it makes any sense. Give me just 1 second. I'm about to pull it up right now. All right, I'm about to share the chart. All right, so here's Bitcoin, guys, on the daily chart. So as you can see in the red, this is where I see the whole descending wedge right here, the symmetrical triangle. We're forming the lower highs, same level lows. So what you see in this black line is kind of like a bear, not kind of like, what I see is a bearish pennant. So let's take a look on the monthly chart so you can see better how that bearish pennant looks like. So in black, you see the top of the pennant to the down to this angle here, which is about 8,400 bucks. So I have two confluences here to say that we're going to make another move down. So what would that particularly look like on a time frame basis? So if you guys can pay attention here, the 0.786 level or the 0.36 level are the levels we watch to indicate we have a bearish or a bullish trend. So as you can see here, we broke the 0.786, we touched the 57.55, we popped back up, and this 0.786 around the $6,300 has acted as support for the last couple of weeks. Now we're back below this 0.786, below this 63.43. So the most bullish outcome that I see for Bitcoin is going back up towards the 0.618, around 6,800. I see that as the most bullish potential outcome. And then ultimately falling back down to the 57, 5,800 range, and then ultimately coming back down to the $4,000 range. So right now, I'm not in any crypto long positions. I just don't see the reward being that great because as you can see on these last two daily candles, we had a really hard time cracking above this 63, 6,400 pocket. So price has gotten weaker and weaker. Now, does that mean we can't go back up here? No, absolutely not. In fact, I hope it does because that'll give me a really good shorting opportunity. But as of right now, it looks like a fall from the 6,400 to the $5,800 range is extremely likely. So right now I'm in all cash, all USDT. If we bounce up here, then I'll definitely short. If we bounce down to 5,800, I'll probably look for a long opportunity to buy the market here around the 5,800 for a short-term bounce, maybe back up to 6K or so. So we're not talking very much, 6K, 6,100, 6,200 maybe. But ultimately, I see us dropping down all the way down to, what'd I do? All the way down to the $4,000 range. So 4,000 bucks, that's my next target on BTC. If you're long on crypto, God bless you. I hope it works out. I just don't see, I see at the maximum opportunity us going to 6,800 maximum for another rejection of this main downtrend. And that's if we get there. So if we look at the weekly chart is even more damaging because you can see on the weekly, we got a weekly close below 6,300. So it's going to take a lot of effort to get back up here. So take a look at this, guys. It took us 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to get to the top, 2 weeks to get to the bottom. 1, 2, 3 weeks to get to the top, 1 week to the bottom. So if we're taking, twice the effort to get to the top and half the effort to get down, then 3 times the effort to get to the top, then a third the effort to get down, this is a clear indication that the bears are in control of the market. So what I'm going to do on the next video, and I'm going to try to get a guy, he's been trading for like 20, 25 years. I consider him like the grandfather, the oracle of trading. So I'm going to try to get him. He really doesn't like doing videos and stuff like that. So I've actually been talking to him for a while. He's like, he doesn't want to do it. So I'm going to try to get him. I'm going to ask him. If we're lucky, I'm going to get him. So I'm going to try to get him to actually come on live, and we can actually discuss what these highs and these lows mean as far as when price is bouncing from highs to lows to highs to lows. So there's the other side of the chart as far as how price moves, why it's moving, and try to give you guys a different perspective or confluence on how or why, outside of just nice, cute lines, why I particularly think we're going to see a much lower price. So with that being said, do your own due diligence, invest at your own risk. If you are holding, I would just really have an honest conversation with yourself if you're prepared to see a 4K BTC and if you're going to hold it at that 4K BTC. I would have an honest conversation with yourself that if you see a 1,300 BTC, if you're really, truly prepared. If you are prepared for that and you believe in this space, then hold. And I will say again, hold with conviction because it can get painful. It can get uncomfortable. So if you're not over leveraged, if you don't have a whole lot invested in crypto and it's comfortable, you're not looking at it. And if you could truly, honestly, like I would suggest talking to your spouse, your significant other, whatever, and say, hey, honey, you know, this could possibly happen. I don't want to be in and out the market because I do believe in Bitcoin. Are we really, truly prepared for this to go to this level and either buy more or go to this level and just hold all the way through? So that's a conversation you need to have with yourself in an honest way, a conversation to have with your spouses or family members, whatever it is that contributes to making these financial decisions in an honest way. Because what I don't want to see is what's going to happen statistically, is that when we do get to 4K, instead of you buying more, you're selling. And I know a lot of people will say that they're not going to sell. I know a lot of people will say they will hold, and some of you guys are true, but unfortunately, a lot of people will sell. Statistically, it's proven that more people will sell. So I'm really speaking from I'm not trying to, like, it doesn't make me happy to see my people lose money or lose value in anything. Y'all could hate me now, and that's fine. But I have to give you the honest perspective and try to prepare you for what could very likely happen. So y'all can hang me today, but in a couple of months, maybe I'll get resurrected or maybe I'll be cherished. But because I know people are very, very sensitive about their crypto assets, their crypto positions, their crypto holdings. So what Aking J.A.R.V.i.Z is telling you today is that if you truly believe you're okay with seeing a 50% discount across your portfolio on Bitcoin, a 70 to 80% discount on your portfolio across alts, continue holding your coins. Continue holding. And the reality is this can take several months, guys. It could take several months before we get out of this. I mean, it could take 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months. A lot of people are saying not to the second quarter of next year do we actually bottom out, start turning around. So what is your strategy? If your strategy is to accumulate as the price drops, I'm giving you some levels to pay attention to. Pay attention to 4K, pay attention to 3K, pay attention to 1K. If that's your strategy. If your strategy is to hold, then hold. Hold. And I know no matter how much I say it, when that time comes, I know people are going to sell, because when that time comes, maybe you might need the money, and just seeing it drop is going to be extremely depressing for a lot of people. But all I can say is that if that is your strategy, you guys know I'm not just a mindless holder. I don't believe in that. But if that is your strategy, if you want to call that a strategy even, then hold your coins. Hold it. And be prepared for the winter. Hopefully the summer comes, but just be prepared for a long, ugly winter. That is my perspective. Hate me or love me, I have to give y'all the real. I have to give y'all the raw and the truth as I see it. Not saying it is the truth, just the truth as I see it. And I just really, 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 truly hope you guys are prepared to see this happen in crypto. Because to me, the market makers have already spoken as far as what they want to do with price and how they want to manipulate and pimp Bitcoin out. If they haven't spoken, they're at the minimum whispering. And when big money whispers, we need to listen. And it's not important to me as far as who's working with who. What's important to me is where their money is actually going. So right now, I see their money depressing crypto, their money leveraging crypto to actually extract money from retail investors. So that's what I see as at this current moment. So that's what it is. I have a much more dynamic game plan and counteracting their actions, but most people don't, for several reasons. Whether they don't have the skill and or they don't have the time. So whatever your game plan is, I'm just giving, because we see 50 million positive articles about everything being peachy in crypto while we're holding the crypto and it's keep going down in price while others are making money on suppressing the price. So that's all I'm advocating for. My inbox is open for the hate. I get the hate every time I speak bearish on crypto. So my inbox is officially open. You could, come with the hate. I prepared on Mondays. I have a special day for hate messages. So my inbox is open. Bring the hate. I just have to speak to you guys the truth as I see it, and that's what I see. So good luck. Good luck to everybody. I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm not saying sell your crypto, what I'm saying is just be prepared for all possibilities and have an honest conversation with yourself if you're truly okay with watching your portfolio lose 50, 60, 70, 80% again. Not the 80% that was lost. I'm talking about again. So if you thought last year was bad, this year was bad, wait for a 24-hour close on Bitcoin. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen bad because a lot of these altcoins are not coming back. They're not coming back. A lot of these altcoins are not coming back. It's over for a lot of these altcoins. They're not coming back. They were scam coins. They took your money. They're dumping Ethereum now to liquidate. That's why Ethereum is having such a hard time, because they raised so much money in Ethereum. Now they're dumping Ethereum to fund their scam projects. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. The writing is on the wall. It's already there. So choose ignorance and bliss if you like. You can hate me for it. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of great conversational points that come from a lot of great educational points. I'm not discounting or discrediting anybody. My inbox is open for all criticism, and I look forward to learning from you guys. Anybody that listens to me knows I'll be the first one to say, hey, bro, great point. You're right. Hey, bro, I haven't thought about that. Send me a link. Let me research that. So my positions aren't absolute, but what I can tell you is what I'm seeing and in price and how the market is being made and where the big money is going. And I'm not advising, all I'm warning you of is that things can get a lot worse for a long time before they get better. So that's all I have to say on that. And that's what love. If you think that comes from a angry place, or I'm just a guy that hates crypto, then that's fine too. That's fine. I'll wear that. I'll wear that. I'm just speaking to y'all just straight up. It's what it is. All right, Asmeret. I love you, Asmeret. I know you hate me right now, but I still love you. Well, Asmeret is about to chew me up. Hey, can we give him the song before we leave?
No.
So me and Asmeret was going to sing y'all this song. Come on, Asmeret. I was born by the river in a little tent. Come on, Asmeret. And Lord, like that river, come on. You gonna play me? You gonna play me in front of everybody? All right, guys. So peace, love. To the next time.